D4G, we at that quota.
Diving it. Diving it. Diving it. Diving it.
What do you think it's called? Diving
it. Diving it. Diving it. Diving it.
D4G episode 25. What up, my D4Gs? This episode 25, season 2. Mr. Pep Corsiola with my man Sir Solomon. What it do?
It's good.
Yay. This week, sorry, not sorry, ball gets a shellacking. BVB go. BVB, man, I thought it was me, but it wasn't. They fucking dropped the ball on some shit.
3v3.
Oh, 3v3, yay. Atleti, we got the Madrid derby to talk about, and AC Milan doing some things. Also, as always, we'll do the big league reviews, Champions League preview. It's finally back, bitches. And, yeah, man, as always, prestigious and egregious awards section and our upcoming games. As always, man, Diving for Glory posts every Monday on iTunes, YouTube, and divingforglory.com. Also hitting you with Thursday episodes this week for Champions League games. And you will also find us on Twitter at Diving for Glory and Facebook as well. Follow, hashtag, subscribe, like, retweet, and hit us up on iTunes. We do have some 5-star ratings, man. I noticed that. I took a peek at that.
Oh, indeed.
Oh, shit. All right. Just a cup, jersey tuck, boots lace, Diving for Glory. Let's go. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Sergio Aguero. Used by me, the PEP. Word, man. Let's jump right into it, man. Manchester City. Oh, it's funny because my old notes here are from the Chelsea-Man City game, not the Man City-Chelsea game. So, here we are in the return leg. Talk about this, Sir Solomon.
Yeah, Mr. Aguero, Mr. Kun Aguero. Chelsea are a team that generally has to play really good football to get results, and we're in a bit of a rocking boat before they met this team that has been chasing down Liverpool. Let's start it off for this show by stating that Liverpool on Monday had dropped points against West Ham, and followed by, during the midweek, Man City had played a mediocre 2-0 win over Newcastle, moving them level on points, but Liverpool earlier had won a game, so Man City needed this result. They steamrolled the fuck out of Arsenal. It was a
not Arsenal. I know it feels like it was Arsenal.
Sorry, you know why? I was listening to Jamie Carragher's analysis, and he said the worst thing I can say about Sarri is that he has turned Chelsea into Arsenal. So I believed him, and I just started calling them Arsenal.
Yeah, this was over in 25 minutes.
It was over in 4 minutes. But yeah, the murder was complete by 25 minutes, but you knew
the torture had begun.
Like the outcome was decided when Sergio Aguero missed that sitter, and everybody laughed, and I said, watch, this thing gonna piss him off and he's gonna get a hat-trick. And the hat-trick he did. Sterling was largely unplayable, mostly because when you have the fastest player on both teams being defended by the slowest player on both teams, usually they end up having a good time in these games, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Marcos Alonso, I don't know what they were thinking with no help. And Chelsea are the best defenders against Chelsea's system. And out of the 6 goals, 4 of them were because they didn't have really there was a big gap in front of the defense that City exploited. And there's a guy that is good at taking care of these big gaps in the front of the defense and sweeping up messes.
Oh, yeah,
His name is N'Golo Kante. He's won a
Kante.
couple of awards. You might have heard of him.
Yeah, a couple awards, World Cup.
He's been by directive. He's up, further up. Don't. It's like you get caught in an alley fight, except the biggest, strongest person you have, you decide you're gonna hold our coats for us. And we're going to go over here and scrap and get our asses beat.
We don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah, you're too valuable. Why am I valuable? Because you defend really well and you do this shit. So we're going to protect your value by not letting you do what you do best.
Which is amazing.
It's a Jedi fucking mind trick is what it is.
Somebody told me that Sarri said that if he didn't play there, he wouldn't be on the field. I was like, okay.
Sorry. Is here just it seems more and more I see it and it's a stopover. He has realized the mistake of being employed by a team that just recently the owner just told some bankers to find buyers for.
Really? Abramovich?
Oh, yeah. Abramovich has been shopping the club.
Ready to roll, huh?
I mean, it doesn't mean what he values it at and what the market is are two different things, but like he's done that. Ever since Michael Menelano or whatever the fuck that dude's name was got fired, they didn't replace him. This is a club that like you are Mauricio Sarri or whatever the fuck his name is, and you come to a club knowing and their only thing that they offer you is like, okay, you get a chance to show Sarri ball, which is supposedly quote unquote very offensive football, right? And to accomplish that, we will allow you one transfer. And you get the one player that you think is most important for your execution of your game plan. And that player becomes the biggest dud.
Yeah.
I would understand what he was saying. If you remember earlier in the season, I gave him the benefit of the doubt on the moving of the Kante out of position. Because, okay, if the team is building and they're going forward, the attack will be, I mean, the ball, the other team's attack will be started further up, so he would have been useful. But if you're going to be a sitting duck and you just send him away, then...
Yeah.
Not only is Kante's position not working, Jorginho's position is not working. And to be honest, to the naked eye, to the non-professional in this game, they should just change positions. And it's easy.
Yep.
You know, like if Jorginho makes 2-yard passes to the side, left and right, about 20 feet up the field, maybe they're better off.
Yeah. We've talked about switching formations, moving players around, et cetera, and this is becoming very Mourinho-like. He is totally defiant in the press conference.
Jorginho is really bad, and Kante is playing out of position. My solution is to bring on Ross Barkley for Kovacic.
I know. But again, he had the same chorus of "This is not my. I didn't see my football and da 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 da." And he said he won't. I'm not going to change my system. I came here to play my system. But this is not your system. You have not I'm not saying change your system. I'm saying implement it. That's what,
you're just out here talking and press conferencing a system, but this is not what you promised. This is not what Sarri ball, quote unquote, is supposed to be. So either put up or shut the fuck up. You don't think that, your wingers are not producing and shit? Okay, there's this kid that Bayern Munich is trying to buy. Play him. Let's see how he does. Switch up some things.
Gotta switch up some things. And to switch the topic up a little bit, let's talk about City and the way they have switched up things since that Newcastle loss. Pep has been the antithesis of Sarri. Of course, we know Pep is good for this, though. But he's definitely maneuvered some players around to play in different positions. He's definitely, he's changed them a bit tactically, would you say?
He did some tweaking just to see what they can do. And because Fernandinho is out, they needed to adjust, and they want to come up with some sort of long-term system for whenever he's not there. But if you notice, in this game, they kind of reverted to what's best, and that is Fernandinho right there. I like that he played Gundogan with him And it wasn't like a true double pivot because Gundogan was actually further up, but it was very much a 4-1-4-1 that they were playing. And it was nice. I think Pep chose a nice team and they balled out, but you score early, the other team doesn't have enough playmakers to hold on to the ball. Like, it felt almost like they were, like, every time Chelsea plays a top half team, they lay an egg these days. And Sarri is gonna have to go pretty fucking soon, man.
Pretty soon. He also attempted to write it off as these being away woes, not just, systemic woes. Like, oh, we play good at home, now we don't play good at away. Because the Arsenal loss, the Bournemouth loss, and the City loss, in which they scored 0 goals.
And also, the City goal, the loss, was the biggest Premier League loss they've ever had.
In history, yep.
So, is it further than the other times they went to Man City? Is it, did it move?
Yeah.
Did Man City move to somewhere else? Because, they've been there before, we know that.
Yep, for sure. Hazard has to be just counted, looking at the watch at this point. They're in 6th place now. They're not even in 5th.
Yeah. They're in 6th, and Hazard, I am pretty certain, unless something dramatic happens, will be in Real Madrid, and think the agreement might also be in place already, unless he just wants to commit career suicide and be in a club that doesn't have any direction. Like I was telling a friend yesterday, I understand getting bad to get good. You sell a couple of older guys, you have a bad season or two, but you see guys develop, and you see a vision of what it's going to become later. This is just being bad because you have no direction.
I wasn't aware of the sales or the thing of Abramovich trying to sell the team.
I don't know if he's actively,
but yeah. I mean, so how does this differ from the Chelsea? Did the Chelsea of past have a blueprint? When they first came in and they bought all those players that made the core of that great team. Or whatnot, or they moved those players up, or did whatever they did. So he's ticked his box. Premier League Championship. We won.
They used to spend back in the days.
I know they don't spend anymore.
That's the thing. Now the business plan seems to be more along the lines of get low, buy low priced players, develop, loan, and then sell them, and that makes them a lot of money for Chelsea. People don't realize it, but
500 players on loan or something.
Yeah, they have a shitload of players on loan, and by doing that, that's the eventuality that they're going for is to remove themselves financially from being dependent on Abramovich, and he hasn't been giving them money for a while. Mm-hmm. So now that the books are balanced, I guess we'll see what happens with the sale, but the way they're currently constructed, you can't have somebody like Mauricio Sarri come in and not play Callum Hudson-Odoi if your team does not spend a lot of money. You have to either use what you have or buy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
ask Poch about that.
Yeah, but the Poch's situation seems to be a lot better.
It does. Interesting. Yeah, man. Man of the match.
Unai Emery.
Right.
No, I'm just joking. Sergio Aguero.
All right. Hat-trick. Yeah. Came off 65th minute or so.
And not only is it a hat-trick, it's not a poacher's hat-trick. The second goal, the goal for 2-0 that he scored was spectacular. His movement, how much he works for the team, it seems like he's actually gone next level under Pep again, after the initial pushback where they didn't like each other.
So really quick question, and who knows if it was actually on purpose or just whatever. City's interest in Jorginho. You start to say they dodged a bullet.
No, they didn't. I think that Jorginho is a good player. I don't think that he's a bad player. He's just the kind of player that you need to surround with a lot of talent.
Needs to be
he would have actually fit into your team very well. Mm-hmm. But at Chelsea, they don't need that. They need a person to make longer, more questioning passes. They can unlock stuff and actually start an attack, not just some guy that's a metronome. And so it's a question of the fit didn't He's not a good fit. But I don't think he's as good as they make him out to be either. But I don't think that he's a bad player. And also, I have doubts about his abilities to play his style in England because he's so fucking slow.
So that was going to be my next thing. Like, if they were eyeing him as a Fernandinho replacement,
No.
yeah, he's not. On
I,
any
I don't think they ever were.
positionally,
I don't think even when they were looking at him, I don't think they ever were. I think they were like thinking more along the lines of having somebody that can present like a Pirlo kind of option, but you'd still have to have guys around him. And Fernandinho would probably still would be more important when he's on the field, not less important.
They have to do something to address that. Not that that's an easy dude to replace, but he played in all 3 games this week. I found that interesting. Moving along to could be called child abuse.
Oh.
Also known as the Madrid Derby. His big brother just beats on little brother all the time. Like, this isn't even
With the help of actual big brother.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
Of the
I guess it's a conspiracy because this game, Atletico Madrid got fucked 10 ways to Sunday. They got a penalty.
Talk about it.
They got a penalty. Real Madrid did, where Vinicius Jr., even though he made a great play and played down the flank beautifully, fell without contact, and B, didn't even look like it was in the penalty box. So was one of Real Madrid's goals, and Atletico scored a return goal to make it 2-2, and that got taken off by VAR. Atletico Madrid has fucking tweeted since about, and with a picture with grids drawn onto the fucking field to show that they got fucked 3 times in a 3-1 win.
They do that. That Clinton.
Lost.
They get that. Real Madrid does that Clinton type of cheating. They're like, hey, got some nuclear bombs for sale. Send. It's just amateur hour, dude. But either way, man.
But that being said, if you look at Atletico Madrid this year, they haven't been Atletico Madrid. It's hard to play a style of intimidation all the time, especially against Real Madrid, who you don't really intimidate anyways. But they had, if you look at, for example, I was reading and actually watching him also, Angel Correa. The game before, when they got fucked up, Atletico, by Real Betis, he gave the ball 2 times in the game. Just dilly-dallying, never tracked back. Mm-hmm. He got to start in this game. And also fucked up in this game and didn't track back. 2-3 years ago in Diego Simeone's system, that guy would have been sitting for like 2, 3, 4, maybe even longer games. And then again, you go to the biggest game of the season and you put Morata as the number 9. That shows your intent. You're not coming to be the hardcore team. It would have been better to put in a lesser striker that's actually willing to play Diego Simeone football and go at him than to put in that.
So, okay, so a mix of bad calls and Simeone miscues here. Is that what you're assessing?
I'm not saying he necessarily miscues as much as I don't think that Atletico are as big and badass as they used to be a few years ago. Like, the way they were playing defense and their press looks a little slower. Like they're going to have to turn up another notch before they go up against Juventus.
It's like keeping concentration for years. Like, it's really hard.
And like at a very tough degree of difficulty too. Like, because the system you're playing allows your opponents the ball.
I was
you know what I'm saying? So
part of me was surprised that Griezmann chose to stay because of those reasons. Like, you're like an offensive dude, man. Like, this, you could have a lot more fun, per se, in other places.
No, you'd have to give the ball up.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, this is fun.
No, I guess you're
having fun. Yeah,
score your 30, man. Yeah, he's on his Marbury.
And he's getting like legend status. Like, the kind of he plays somewhat like an old school 10 in the sense that he plays behind the striker and stuff. And a lot of the big clubs don't really have a position for him. Like, if he went to Barca, his best position is Messi's position.
Oh yeah, no, I know. they would have had to do what they're doing with Coutinho and like wing or something like that.
He's much better than Coutinho, but like, first of all, buy a person for 150 million euros and play him in the position that he did not show that worth for. Even when Arthur is injured and out, Coutinho still doesn't play in midfield. He plays up front.
Still plays up front. Yep. We'll get to that. Who's your man of the match here? Hold up, man. Let me rewind a little bit. Because just for the sake of it, we gave Real Madrid no lip service.
I was about to say
they've been down all year. They're creeping here. They're 6 points back of Barca.
They move up to second place.
Second place.
They're 6 points up. Casemiro scores a beautiful overhead kick off of a pandemonium that Sergio Ramos causes. Sergio Ramos scores a penalty and does the most ridiculous mocking dance to embarrass the shit out of Griezmann. I don't know if there has been a person more comfortable with being the heel than Sergio Ramos. Like, even Diego Costa couldn't handle it like this. Like, this guy is top tier, man.
Did you see his tweet? It's like him. It's like him holding his baby, but he put the Atletico Madrid symbol over the baby.
Yeah, he will get petty with you. Like, he's good.
There was another thing. Oh, the Courtois getting the rats thrown at him. Did you see that too?
Ratones, yes, I saw that shit.
They apparently have a headstone outside the stadium.
Outside the stadium, and they requested it gets removed. Actually, they're trying to
Pablo and Narcos will say Rata.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, everybody hates that guy.
He's a douche.
Like, it's you. At some point, like, Chelsea fans, like, and they're not, especially if you leave the club to go international, they're not really bent out of shape about it. They hate him passionately.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid fans hate him passionately. Yep. Hopefully he fucks up Real Madrid season because he took up the starting spot and they hate him passionately soon anyways.
Yes. Continue on.
He called Diego Simeone a populist.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, because Madrid wins all the time, so he talks shit just to rile up the people. God. So he's just like a fucking populist.
Dude. Get the fuck out of here, man. Anyway, Franco, who's your man of the match here?
I'm gonna give it to Sergio Ramos just because he's an asshole and good.
Word up.
Actually, but if you really want to give, right? I mean, he did. It was a penalty, but like man of the match should be Vinicius because like he caused pandemonium on the wing.
No doubt. Where is he, on the left or the right?
He's on the left, and Gareth Bale is his substitute.
Bale.
No, he gave on for him.
So is there, just to tie these two games in together, is there an issue there as far as like a Hazard coming on and Vinicius?
Everybody seems to be mentioning it, like online and like different conversations. Like if he came, it would stun Vinicius. I'm like, if he's as badass as they claim he is, he should be playing in different positions, and then or take that spot. You know what I'm saying? But when you go to Real Madrid, there is no Vinicius. Like you get a bunch of the top guys.
Yeah.
There is no, this guy might be stunted. If you're that guy, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. You're Real Madrid. You take the spot.
Yeah, you take it.
Against the best.
For sure. All right. Moving along to the Bundesliga. League leaders, Borussia Dortmund hosting 1899 Hoffenheim.
Yes.
1899. Fun game. Hoffenheim though, man, they've done this a few times this year. I feel like a half of football where they don't do nothing, and then another half where they're just peppering the goal.
The halftime speeches, that just shows you that the coach, once they listen to him, knows what the fuck he's doing. And my man is going to be going to RB Leipzig next year. Julian Nagelsmann, and the best way to establish before going to RB Leipzig is making Dortmund hate you, because they hate the shit out of Leipzig. They went up 3-0. Dortmund did. Beautiful goal by Jadon Sancho. Mario Götze and Rafael Guerrero topped it off 3-0. And they just shut down, basically. And because if you look at the stats, first half was complete dominance.
Yep.
Complete dominance. They had 65% possession, 8 total shots, 4 on target, to Hoffenheim's 1 shot, 0 on target. Immediately switch it to the second half. 50-50 possession. Hoffenheim, 13 fucking shots. 2-8 for Dortmund.
5 big chances.
Yes, 6 shots on target to 3. Everything was, like they had corner kicks. Like they were balling out. And it was only a matter of time. You can't turn down.
We've talked about this with Dortmund a little bit. kind of reminds me of that Liverpool squad that year with Suarez and all them. Like, they have the offense. Their defense just goes to bed.
Yeah.
And it's been doing that relatively consistently this year. How much of a concern is that going forward?
I think it is, but I think
for the league.
For what?
For the league, as opposed to maybe Champions League.
Oh, I thought you meant like how concerned should the league be? It's just like, I don't think that Dortmund. For the league, it's always a concern, and having Bayern Munich chasing you down is an ever-present concern. So, whenever it's a championship year, they're just good. They'll figure it out. But I think that their defense being this way is a byproduct of their style. You can't go balls to the wall and have all these guys play that are super attacking. And if you see how far up Sancho plays, Guerrero, all these guys, like, there's always going to be chances for the other team.
And just to be fair, stats say that they have allowed the third fewest goals in the league. Of course, you're that good of a team. You dominate the ball possession. But I think the thing for me is that when I see the highlights of the goals they give up, it's bullshit.
Exactly. They're always caught out. And like, everybody's there to attack. Like, if you look at Hakimi, he's always up there,
We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the Champions League preview, because they are playing this week in a pretty big matchup.
Yes.
Kudos, though, again, to Hoffenheim. Kind of doing, like, at this point, I'm like, they did this shit last year. They were hovering in 7th and 8th, and then all of a sudden, bloop, 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 4th place.
3rd place.
3rd place, that's right.
Yeah, because the season before they did 4th.
Place. Yep.
So, the season before, he got the team to finish 4th place. Team record, never finished 4th place before. Last year, he got them to finish 3rd place. Like you said, same format. Opening right now, you'd have to finish 2nd place. That's the only way that you can improve year after year. So
I don't see that
move.
I don't see that happening. They're 8 points out of 4th place. They're 15 back of 2nd place Bayern. Either way, he's on his way out.
So curious, does it count if Leipzig finish 2nd? Which they won't either, but
nah, I don't think so, man.
He's gonna be counting in the Champions League next year, though, so he's happy with that.
Dortmund, though, 15-5-1, still top of the table, lead Bayern by 5 points, who were also victorious, which we'll mention that later. Who's your man of the match here?
I want to give it to Mr. Hoffenheim's.
I want to give it to you.
Substitute. I can't find his name right now. It fucking sucks. Isaac Belfodil.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2 goals, youth.
No doubt.
Yeah, he came on as a sub, played 45 minutes, had 2 goals, 3 shots on target, and did his thing.
Word up.
Yeah.
BVB, Hoffenheim, 3-3 draw. Fun game. All right, we'll move along over to Serie A and talk about AC Milan hosting Cagliari, and that was AC has also been on the up and up. Piatek.
Indeed. This game was made easier by the fact that Luca Capitelli scored an own goal to start it off, but the 2 January signings that have basically had the biggest impact in all of Europe might be Piatek and Paqueta. And both of them had a goal. Paqueta dedicated his to the victims of Flamengo collapse of some building or something.
That was crazy, yeah.
But
damn, he just left them too. Like, he came from, that was shit. If you didn't know, that's where he just signed from, was Flamengo.
Yeah. And it looks like AC Milan is finally finding their team. It's funny because I thought that Bakayoko would not be an everyday starter, and if he did, he would take Frank Kessie's position. But they're playing Frank Kessie, Bakayoko, and Lucas Paqueta in a 3-man midfield, supporting Suso and Hakan. And in front of them would be Piatek. And it has worked. Ever since these guys have come in, Gennaro Gattuso is looking like he's playing the same team mostly, repeatedly, and it's doing good.
Yeah, AC Milan 5 wins out of their last 8. 5 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. So that is a fine form for a team that was, we had talked about a number of times, underperforming. They are also trying to solidify or at least get a leg up here on that fourth place spot. But in the same vein, they're creeping on the 3rd place spot.
Yeah, they're chasing 3rd place hard. They're only 4 points out of it. And the Inter team that we'll get to, but has been really stagnant since the new year started.
Super big. Yeah, Lazio, Roma, Atlanta, Milan, all 1 point apart in that 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. Who's your man of the match here?
Piatek. He has taken over the Milan striker position, and boom, 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 like his fucking celebration. He just fits hand in glove with Milan.
Yeah, he's a funny dude. If you don't check out his interviews and stuff, man, he's supremely
born ready.
Supremely confident.
Are you ready for your time at Milan? He's like, I was born ready.
A lot of Zlatan type arrogance going on. It feels good.
A lot of Zlatan type goal. Like the guy is a killer.
Word up, man. That is our back 4. We're going to move on to the midfield.
Hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah. Midfield EPL review. There were no midweek games this week, correct? No, there were not. That's coming up in a couple weeks.
There was.
Oh, there was one.
There
That's
was
right.
the Monday Liverpool West Ham
we were watching. We
tie.
were recording.
And
Everton hosting Manchester City.
yes, let the record show that we did call when the West Ham goal would happen live on this show.
The Manchester City victory over Everton 2-0 was a nervy 2-0.
Yeah, they scored a goal in the injury time of the first half by Mr. Laporte, and one in the injury time of the second half. I don't remember by who.
Yep. That was Gabriel Jesus. 97th minute, 2-0. Manchester City go top of the table with that victory. But start you off Saturday morning, Fulham hosting Manchester United. United keep on fucking rolling here, man. 3-0.
Yeah, Fulham is not the team that you stop rolling at.
Absolutely not.
They wanted nothing to do with it. You're like, no, we don't want anything. Here, just take your 3-0.
The first Pogba goal was sick.
It was.
An angle.
I don't think that
nasty.
Pogba works enough.
Fuck no. Thanks,
all.
Captain Obvious.
No, but like, what? I don't know how you can call it Captain Obvious, where like all you see when you're on Bleacher Report is how good he's got over the last however long since Mourinho has left, and
we know better.
Yeah,
and I'm
like
saying,
over
like,
the
if
course
you watch
of
him-
90 minutes when you watch it, there's just a lot of downtime. There's a lot of turnovers,
Yep.
a lackadaisical
Sloppy
attitude.
passing, man.
Yeah, if I would never want Paul Pogba to be the leader of my team.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Mr. Mourinho felt the exact same way, which is why he tried to.
I would still want Paul Pogba to always be part of my starting 11, but I just think that they can get more out of him, and the Mourinho approach is fucking ridiculous.
His personality is I don't know, it's pretty big in that locker room, and that's I don't know if you want to call it a concern or whatever it is.
I don't think it's a concern really, and I think that they're doing good. I just think that for his career and for the Paul Pogba myth that we've seen, and then somebody has to push him more, and they need to find, whether it's Ole later or whatever, there's another level that this guy can go to. He's still very good. He's not a failure by any means. I'm not saying any of that.
No.
But he could still be next level.
He's physically ridiculous. He's technically amazing, and he just doesn't keep the cut. You just don't get the sense that he should be dominating shit,
Yes.
like almost at
Yes.
every moment.
He should have been like how Yaya's seasons, his first few
When he
seasons
was,
at Man City was the kind of guy I was expecting.
Yeah.
And he's not even a shadow of that.
Yeah. 2 goals for Pogba in this. Martial with a very nice goal as well, 3-0. Like I said, they move into 4th place with that victory. Fulham looking at the drop. I mentioned City went top, and then Liverpool got their chance to go back up top by 3 points. And they put 3 up, hung 3 up on Bournemouth.
And partied like they thought Bournemouth was AC Milan, Real Madrid, and PSG rolled into one. And they were like, what? You see, we're back. Top of the league. Fuck you. Oh, shit. The next day they watched the other game. Like, this is why people don't think we can win. These guys are monsters. And fucking Salah went and fucking shaved his beard now.
Oh, I said that's a wrap. It's over now.
God,
It's definitely over. I don't know why you did that.
First of all, dude, never go to a Chuck E. Cheese. You're like a pedo.
Yeah, it's not a good look, homie. Not a good look. And he did score in this game. Mane scored. Wijnaldum had a nice goal. It was a really nice goal.
Yeah, Mane has been awesome as long as you don't play offside.
Exactly.
He's good, man. He doesn't know about that. That flag confuses him, but apparently it confuses many people, and he has found special dispensation of offside rules to where Sadio Mane can do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm. Bournemouth missing Brooks, I think, in this game. They weren't without their chances, but they just didn't have enough. Anyway, moving along.
Firmino needs to start balling out soon.
Needs to do something. He's been quiet this year. Do you think? I think we kind of talked about it last week. Like we talked about the way Klopp has moved.
They were playing a 4-3-3 last season. Right now, they're playing more like a 4-2-3-1, and
so we need
solid. It's more solid.
So we need Sarri to coach Liverpool.
Exactly what we need. That is precisely what we need.
4-3-3. We need that 4-3-3 at all times.
Only way to go.
But right, like Klopp had tried to come out this season and run the 4-3-3. Like he had the original lineup. He was doing what he was trying to do last year, and it wasn't working. They weren't scoring for whatever reason, and so he kind of switched it up. I think you talked about.
Yeah, and also like their midfield was battered at the beginning. He didn't know how to do it for Fabinho either. So like he was really playing a lot of just safe. Like when it was like you say 4-3-3 and the system worked and doesn't work. But then like when you look at sometimes it's Jordan Henderson, Milner, and somebody else that doesn't control. You know, like what people are in those numbers make a big difference. Yep. And right now, the Keita is finally coming together, it seems.
All right, we're moving along. This was a crazy game, the Southampton-Cardiff game.
Cardiff B
with the 2-1 victory, man. 2 goals. They were up 1-0 for like most of the game, or not most of the game, late, like 70th minute goal, and then they fucking give it, and then 2 goals in stoppage time. One by Southampton, and then 2 minutes later, Cardiff pulled it back.
Yeah. Mr. Cardiff B.
Undefeated since the Salah plane was recovered or whatnot.
Since it went down.
Since it went down. They're investigating what? West Ham fans or something? Who did they beat? They beat somebody last week or whatever. Southampton maybe even.
No. I think it was Bournemouth.
Yeah.
The game last week was shit. Yeah, I remember that. Cardiff against not Bournemouth, Brighton.
Yeah. Well, they were. I think that maybe it's the Southampton fans. They were investigating for doing disrespectful chants or something, where you're basically mocking Salah.
I mean, they're going to. That's
what English does. You
want to fix all these problems? You're just gonna have to make a little less money and stop selling everybody so much beer.
And it's kind of like the guy that I was talking about at the music show this weekend. Like, okay, yeah, you want people with alcohol and allowed music.
That's what I'm saying.
To be quiet. Good luck.
If you want to control a stadium, you control the bar, and you have them like loaded up. Fuck out of here.
Yeah,
that's not your intention. You don't care.
And the British go next level with that. Cardiff, man, all 3 points though. They are making their move to try to stay out of the relegation zone. They are out of it at the moment. Arsenal away to Huddersfield. 2-1. Arsenal.
Yeah. Boring Arsenal these days. They just suck.
Mkhitaryan return.
Oh. Mickey.
Got all 3 points though.
Scored all 3 goals too.
He did.
Yeah, because Said Kolasinac. Oh man, I hope somebody had him on his fantasy team because he scored a own goal and got a yellow card both in injury time.
So this is off why I joined the pick'em this week, and you bet for the top 6 you play against the.
Please tell me you picked 2-0
line.
Arsenal.
Of course, fucking course, dude. And in this motherfucking the 93rd minute.
Yep. And then he gets the yellow too. Right then I'm like, yeah, man.
Yes, I picked Arsenal to win because the line was like 1.5. So I was like, yeah, they're gonna win by 2 goals, bastards. Anyway, Watford hosting Everton. Everton just fucking continuing their away.
Marco Silva coming back to Watford. I think Richarlison also, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Troy Deeney talked shit before the match. He was like, fuck him. Let's just beat the shit out of him. That's exactly how he said it. He's like, that's not, you know? And then they proceeded to what? Beat the shit out of him.
Everton just awful at home, man, or away from home.
They're just awful lately.
They have been. Good for them. Moving along, Crystal Palace, West Ham. This had draw written all over it, in my opinion, and it sure ended up being that Zaha saving the point, the 76th minute.
Yep, Zaha played. They got some points. He'd been suspended, dated, and shit, so they dropped points. You know that until like about a month and a half ago, it was about almost 2 years that they hadn't won a game that Zaha hadn't played in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when people talk about his streaks and stuff, it's not just about him scoring, man. Like, even him being on the field is a big difference for this club.
Yep. West Ham, after having, drawing Liverpool and playing, really should have got all 3 points in that game. Disappointing performance for them, but away from home, so be it.
Disappointing linesman performance for them. Because they played an amazing performance. They deserved 3 points. They had 3 points.
Oh, against Liverpool.
They got taken. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Moving along, Hove at home to Burnley. Burnley smacked
H
them
to the
around.
OV.
Burnley's been playing well.
Yeah.
They've crawled back
out. A lot
out
of these smaller teams, when they make Europe early in the season, like even whether they make it or not, having that qualifications and stuff really fucks them up. And Burnley was no exception. They were too small. We talked about it last season. And now that they're just having a regular season, they're well coached. They have good players. They just don't score a lot. 5
wins, 3 draws in their last 9 games.
Exactly. So I think they're gonna keep climbing at least until they reach somewhere.
All right. Well, continuing to climb as well, or at least be comfortable in that 3rd place spot. Tottenham hosting Leicester City, which I also had picked Leicester City on the line on this one. Thanks, son. Thanks for fucking that up.
It was the day of the Suns.
It was.
First, Davinson scored a goal.
Davinson
Sanchez. He scored the first opening goal. It was nice. Header. And then Christian Eriksen.
But prior to that,
we had followed by Son, the actual Korean Son. So 3 Sons scored in this game.
But I was gonna damn, that's true. Son is a slight stretch on Eriksen, but
Eriksen. How do you pronounce it? Son.
Sen. Jamie Vardy apparently did not have a party in this game.
He came on as a substitute too, with his first shot of the game, take a penalty and get it saved.
I think that was somebody told me that was like Lloris's first save penalty in the Premier League.
I don't know, but Lloris is actually in his career faced. I think he saved about 1/3 of the penalties. He stopped about 1/3 of the penalties he saved. So I wouldn't trust that stat.
Yeah, like I said, somebody said.
Yeah, he's actually kind of his in-game fuck-ups are a lot, but he's good in shootouts.
Vardy pulls it back, 76th minute, 2-1. Leicester could have gotten more from this game. Probably should have.
don't know if I would go all the way and say should have, but they could have. They had a couple of opportunities to do it.
5 big chances.
Yes.
9 shots on target to Tottenham's 5, 20 total. I mean, should have got it. It probably should have took a point at the very least.
I watched a lot of this game, and I wouldn't go as far as to say, yeah, they did have shots on target. They did have whatever. But, like, if you watch the game, the eye test, like, Tottenham was a better team. They had moments where they would turn off, like Tottenham does. And if it looks more like a Spursy that gives these people a chance. But Tottenham should have had this game, and I think it was fair.
Okay, well, moving along, top 4, Manchester. All is right in the universe. Manchester City's at the top of the table. But Liverpool have a game in hand. It's by goal difference. Goal difference is steadily expanding thanks to Chelsea. Thank you. Liverpool second, Tottenham third. They are only 5 points back of Man City and Liverpool. I mean, we could say all we want about Tottenham, but that shit's amazing to me. And Man United, 4th place, sitting in 4th place, a point up on Arsenal and Chelsea, who are tied for 5th and 6th. Arsenal get the nod on goal difference. Wolves and who's playing right now? Wolves and Newcastle are playing.
Wolves
right
hosting
now.
Newcastle.
Yup. All right, moving along.
Hoping for the Wolves shutout in this game.
Yeah, I got 2-1, 3-1 Wolves, 3-1. No, 2-1 Wolves. Chop, chop. All right, moving along over to La Liga. We'll run down these games. We already covered the derby. Huesca get the 2-0 over Girona. They're making a late kind of creep to try to get out of relegation. I think one of the biggest upsets, though, of the weekend would have to be Leganes. 3-0 over Real Betis.
Yeah. Real Betis has been riding a lot of League and Cup, had a lot of big games lately, and they've been coming up nice in them, and it looked like they just kind of ran out of gas and blinked, and Huesca got them.
Not Huesca, the other team, Leganes. Huesca got Girona. Huesca 6 points off of safety. Valencia, Real Sociedad, 0-0 draw.
Yes.
At home, Valencia.
Yeah. We have to just, before we just go into the randomness, we have to mention that Barcelona did finish this game tied with Athletic Bilbao 0-0, and that changes the Real Madrid situation.
Yep. If you can't follow our La Liga review today, we understand. Sevilla. We're actually out here playing like Barcelona. Very disconnected.
Everything.
I'm on my Coutinho today. Sevilla at home to Eibar. They draw 2-2. They've just been dropping points left and right. Ever Banega sent off in this game. While it was 2-0. And I mean 2-0, they were down 2-0. He gets sent off and they crawl back and they climb back 2-2.
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
That's how valuable he is.
Holla. Peace. And as mentioned, Bilbao, Barcelona. Bilbao always a tough away game. But I'm looking at statistics. Did you watch this game?
The what?
Did
The
you watch
Bilbao
this
game?
game? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Barcelona Bilbao game.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched it. And Ter Stegen was man of the match.
Yeah.
Ter Stegen made a bunch of saves. Iñaki Williams should have put them ahead quite a few times. And, yeah, the counter, they couldn't handle it. Jordi not being there really fucked up Barca.
Is this... I mean, we've been over it a little bit, but I look at the lineup, still strong lineup. You see Coutinho out of position, Vidal, Arthur's injured.
Messi is not healthy.
Even though he started.
Yeah, even though he started. And he was, like, his movements, like, just kind of more decoy and stuff, but, like, a lot of football just ends there. And
Dembele came on.
And he didn't look like he was ready either. What I don't understand is, so you got Busquets and Rakitic, like, and Arthur is hurt for 3 weeks. would it now be a good time to try Coutinho to see? Because he's obviously not good as a forward.
Yeah. Like, fucking play Dembele and, move him in.
Or not even Dembele, whatever, whoever, Malcolm. Like, why does it have to be one of the big guys? Like, just put somebody there. That's not important. What I'm saying is try this guy in midfield. Like, he's not up front because, like, he just won this spot either, you know?
Are you feeling like there's some serious issues at Barcelona, or is it really, are you still feeling like it's more coaching?
There is some coaching, but I don't know if there's serious issues. I didn't even contemplate that. Like, you're 6 points up in the league, and you're comfortably in Champions League, and
I mean,
I wouldn't see serious problems anywhere near that.
I just look at 3 draws and a loss in the last 6 games, and for a team like Barcelona, you know, that's not that's not out of ordinary, and it's the way they've been looking, because they were looking a little bit more traditional Barcelona earlier this year. And
yes, every season in the middle, like of February, March, they always go through
a little blip.
Yes, because the style that they play, and I don't know, through Pep's time, and then like for years after, it's like the way they train. They're supposed to peak at certain times, and like now they were supposed to peak during that like post comeback from January time, and it seemed like they've hit the end of that. I don't think that Barcelona's Ernesto Valverde knows how to rotate the team, but as far as big problems, I think they're going to win the league, and they're definitely going to be a contender in the Champions League. But outside of injuries, which affect everybody, I don't see any big problems. They're not historic Barcelona like Pep's Barcelona, but there's spaces between that. You know? They're still going to be probably a title winner, maybe even a double of some sort.
And just as I mentioned, drew 1-1 with Real Madrid in midweek in the Copa del Rey.
Still in play for a treble.
Yep. Moving along, Alaves plays Levante right now, but we're going to move on to Serie A. Lazio get the 1-0 over Empoli with a 42nd minute goal by Felipe Caicedo. Roma actually X of City, nice. Roma actually stop a team from scoring and win 3-0 over Chievo Verona.
Yeah, Friday game. Whatever your problems is, facing Chievo Verona is always a good thing.
Always helps. Fiorentina get a point at home to Napoli, 0-0 draw. Napoli statistically feel it's about even. Yeah, six big chances though. They missed a lot.
They haven't been cutting edge, period. Like this season, they're in it, whatever. But like they score less than they used to last year. They're not as tenacious. It feels like Sarri leaving Napoli had both teams a little shook, you know. Ancelotti does his thing and is going to be okay and he's going to be fine, but they're not going to be that go after you and just fuck you up Napoli like last season.
Fiorentina looked hella organized in this game, and they got their point.
Fiorentina is nice. They have a lot of good young players and they play really, really sexy football.
Moving along, Inter get their 1-0 goal over Parma. Gervinho could not save them this time. But Inter, man, first win in 2019, I believe you mentioned.
First goal in 2019.
Oh, shit. Whoops.
In the league. I don't know if they scored anything anywhere else. There's not many other leagues they're in. But, yeah, so Lautaro Martinez comes off the bench and scores and gets them a 1-0. This was way needed because if they didn't get that 1-0, they would have been in a serious scrap because there's like 5 teams, like you said earlier, behind them chasing them down.
Yep. Much needed 3 points. Surprising Frosinone 1-0 over Sampdoria. That dings their European hopes. Atalanta 2-1 over Spal. Juventus smash on Sassuolo 3-0. Emre Can scores in this game, as well as Cristiano Ronaldo with his 18th for the season.
Bigger news is that the manager and Paulo Dybala seem to be in the midst of a feud.
Yeah, I've seen him. Why? Do you know?
The other time, Dybala left the stadium, basically left the bench and went into the locker room after being subbed, and just those shitty situations.
Yep.
More importantly, is like, will they work it out? A, B, if not, who stays and who goes onto the market?
Yeah, I heard he was a rumor even before all this to go this summer. Interesting. All right, Serie A. Let me actually run that. Let me run that down for you. Standings. I didn't even mention the La Liga, but Juventus are 11 points clear on Napoli, whatever, who are 9 points clear on Inter, and then it gets tight. They're only 4 points up on AC Milan, and then Atlanta, Roma, Lazio, as mentioned, are all within a point. Word up. All right, moving along. Bundesliga. Not La Liga. Bundesliga. See. Leverkusen smash on Mainz 5-1. Mainz. That's what I meant. Mainz. 5-1. Smash City. Mentioned the Dortmund result. Leipzig and Frankfurt battle to a 0-0. Frankfurt staying up there too. They're 5th place. They'll take that point, I'm sure. Big upset. Hertha Berlin smashing on Mönchengladbach 3-0.
Yes, indeed. Looking at
Salamanca Lu,
that's dude.
Andrzej Duda, and Davy Selke.
Yeah, I guess Alexandre Plie and Torgan Hazard didn't do shit in this game.
Didn't do a damn thing.
All right.
Yeah, that's tough because they were playing really well up to that point. Another fun game was Freiburg-Wolfsburg 3-3. Bayern Munich 3-1 over Schalke, and that moves them 5 points, within 5 points of Dortmund. Dortmund getting a little nervy out there. And as always, I want to mention the great wizard Dusseldorf because they're going to stay up, man. Fortuna 3-0 over Stuttgart. Boom.
The three teams at the bottom seem like they're committed to going down, especially since the two are automatic going down, and then the third plays a playoff against the bottom division team, which basically Stuttgart will survive if that's the case. But Fortuna is staying up like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. They're 10 points clear.
10 points clear, and not only 10 points, but 3 other clubs between them and the relegation.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Top 4, like I mentioned, Dortmund up top, 5 points clear of Bayern, who are now 3 points clear of Mönchengladbach, who are 4 points clear of Leipzig. They have a nice gap, 5 points in between 5th place Frankfurt, who are tied on points with Leverkusen. And then it's tight there. Leverkusen, Wolfsburg, Hertha, Hoffenheim, Bremen, all within like 3 points. Werder. Very quickly, Ligue 1 actually is playing matches these days. Imagine that. Marseille, the 2-1 over Dijon.
Balotelli. He scored a goal.
Yeah? Yeah. He also got a yellow card.
Balotelli.
Yeah, PSG with a 1-0 of a.
More importantly, they lost another player, or
Cavani,
two,
yeah.
and Meunier.
Oh, Meunier, really?
Yes, Meunier is not available.
Woo. Yeah, we'll get to that in 1 second. Monaco and Montpellier, 2-2, man. Monaco almost got 3 points, and then they gave up a penalty in the 91st minute.
But they are proving that shit-canning Thierry Henry was not the worst thing they could do.
No, not at all. They've actually scored points since then.
And I think they've let's see their last
Are
5.
they out?
What do they have? They have draws. Yeah, that's
Creeping closer to getting out of relegation as well. Only 1 point back. Leo with the 2-0 over Guingamp. Stade Rennes 3-0 over Saint Etienne. And then Nice with the 1-0 over disappointing Lyon. Oh well. That stands as PSG up top by 10 with 2 games in hand. Lille 49, Lyon 43, and Montpellier 37, who are all tied. Montpellier, Marseille, Saint Etienne, Nice, Rennes, Strasbourg, Reims. Basically, half the damn league is within
French guys.
2 points of the fourth place spot. Word up. That is our league reviews. Now we are going to move on to the sexy and exciting shit. Champions League preview. At least for the matches that are being played this week. So, with all that being said,
Yes.
Tuesday's games. Roma, Porto.
Yes. On paper, Roma has the better team, but Roma, anything is possible, and I do not know enough about Porto other than they're always in the Champions League and they're always up for it. The one thing I would say is I hope one of the winners of these games gets Barca.
Yeah, that's what a lot of teams will be hoping for, is the winner of this game. Barcelona, in particular, would like to see revenge, I'm sure,
Yes.
on Roma. One of
And
the two,
Malcolm signing does not count.
not at all. Well,
That might be like
I
an
was just
insult
gonna
to
say
injury.
exactly. I was just going to say one of the, if not probably the biggest matchup here this weekend is on Tuesday. This week is United hosting PSG, and this game is a hugely different proposition than it was when the draw first came out. Namely because Mourinho's gone, United's been on a tear, and PSG is missing 4 major players at this point.
But also, it must be said, Manchester United maneuvered into the second round of the Champions League, even with Mourinho, easier than PSG did. PSG had to play into the last game. There was a chance it could be Liverpool, Napoli, whatever, whereas Manchester United advanced with a game to spare. So even while they were terrible in the league and looked terrible in the Champions League, they were still performing and getting points out there, you know what I'm saying? So, now that being said, PSG have been hit with a bunch of fucking injuries, and Manchester United are playing offensively, if not good, then fun. I don't know if it's necessarily good football, but it's fun football.
For sure. It definitely looks better. So what, you're United, you're at home for this game. What's the approach here? Are you gonna take because he's definitely proven to play a little sit back when he plays against, these, these big teams, albeit more effectively than Mourinho, but are you trying to avoid that away goal?
By the way, I don't know about nobody, but Manchester United over history is built to be a counter-attacking team. Like, they do sit back. It's just that when they get the ball, they attack you a lot more. But it's never been like a pressing team, Mm-hmm. So if you're prepared properly, it can actually be, in the case in point, Liverpool right now. Like, the counter-attack can be a very offensive and
Do you think that's the approach for this game?
And I think that's what they have, is if we shore up and then within a couple of passes get these guys vertical. And the way, like, their strength right now is getting vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
they don't have the intricate midfield play. Like, that's not what the focus is. So, yeah, just hustle hard and try to get the ball upfield as soon as possible. Which, funnily enough, is the same approach that PSG uses.
So PSG's goal here is to get an away goal. Is that as long as they do that and minimize what United does, it sets them up nice? A 1-1 would be nice for them. Yes?
I don't think you'd feel that. I think that if you're PSG, you feel like you come here and get an away goal and a win.
And win.
Like, that's what you're looking for if you're that club. Like, yeah, Manchester United has fixed their stuff, but their defense doesn't look that impressive. This is a PSG team that's supposed to be world beaters. Like, you should look at this game to win. Like, and I think anything less would be a bit of a disappointment.
No Cavani, no Verratti, no Meunier,
Verratti,
no
never
Neymar.
there.
Yeah, I know.
Meunier, okay.
Yep.
Like, I've seen him in games that I don't remember him playing in.
So we'll see what
Mbappe
does all alone.
What do you mean all alone? That's not alone. Like, when you look at like guys like Angel Di Maria and Julian Draxler, they ball out.
When you talk about Neymar and the all-time leading scorer in PSG fucking history, then yeah, that's what I mean. like his attacking trio, you know what I'm saying, is a little bit. He's the guy. There's no debate at this point.
But at the same time, these are players that were bought for 50, 60 million pounds. They're not just like some bums either.
It's PSG, man.
All right, as a show though, we have to analyze this. You can't just say like, oh, he's by himself when like a guy like Angel Di Maria, who's been scoring like these past few weeks, is playing against his old club. Like that is a.
No, for sure. Oh, for sure. That's fair. I mean, whatever. But he's the guy this game, for lack of a better term. Like, it is his team. There's no doubt about that. And we'll see what he can do as that
definitely
guy.
That. And we shall see how he fares. But I think that they do have plenty of weapons to make this guy effective if they play it right.
Do you move him around? You put him up top as a 9?
I don't think you stick him there. I think he's always been, even with Cavani and Neymar playing, they did a lot of switches. He's allowed to play number 9, but he's just not. It would be a waste of Mbappe to just stick him up there the whole time. Like, the speed that he has on the flanks really opens up a lot more than he could as a number 9 right now.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree. Just want to see what you thought. Moving along, Wednesday's game. Ajax hosting Real Madrid. Ajax is not a pushover in this game at all.
They are not. They gave Bayern Munich a huge challenge and I think won that group, which is why they're playing second place Real Madrid. But I'd still say Real Madrid should win it, especially since the last few weeks Real Madrid has been playing some decent football, and Ajax, this is not. Even though they look good in the first round, this is not a spectacular Ajax team. Like, usually when they look good, they're head and shoulders above Holland, and they're not even in first place in Holland right now. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. The other big matchup here this week is Tottenham hosting Borussia Dortmund. So third place Tottenham, first place Dortmund. Both teams are going to be missing a couple major players. No Harry Kane, no Dele Alli, no Marco Reus. What does that do for this matchup?
It dampens it, I would say, even a lot more than not having Neymar would dampen PSG, because not only are they the best players on their teams, they are the leaders of the team. Like, Neymar is the superstar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's looking towards him. Like, these guys are, like, Harry Kane is Tottenham. Like, Dele Alli and him are training. Like, this is, you know, like, they clearly don't look anything close to themselves when he's
Same
not there.
thing with Royce.
And then Royce, if you look at this week's game, like the 3-3, that was not happening if Royce is there. Like, even like guys like Mario Götze talk about how it's much better playing with him. Like, he's just a motivational, inspirational player. So it takes a lot out of it. But I think Lucien Favre and Pochettino are amazing coaches. So I think it's going to be a spectacular matchup.
Still be a fun game. There's a lot of good players on both sides. In a weird kind of way, I'm really interested in that game, almost more than the United PSG. Either way,
from the football aspect of it, yes, I would say like I'm much more interested in that game than the United PSG. Like, it's going to be more fun to watch.
Agreed. Word up. That is our midfield. We're going to move you along to the front forwards. Ah, yes, the Blues. Chelsea got the Blues. The Blues got the Blues. Because our dude of the week goes to
Sergio Aguero.
For his hat trick. He's been rolling them out this season, man.
Tied Alan Shearer's hat trick record at 11.
I'd say at this point he's one of the favorites, if not the favorite, PFA player of the year.
I wouldn't say the clear favorite, because
definitely not clear. I was saying one of the.
Yeah, what? Because Mo Salah is right up there. He's right there in terms of goals scored with him. It's a little early to put out that, but like, yeah, he's always a contender as long as he's not hurt for more than a third of the season.
Well, remember, they put it out 2 games before, right? The end of the season. There's only 11 left. So, a lot to play for, though.
Yeah.
Goal of the week.
Casemiro's overhead kick against Atletico Madrid for being an overhead kick and for being Atletico Madrid in the derby game.
Absolutely. Yeah, to that point, though, I didn't really realize that there's only like 10 games left in the season. Shit is coming down.
Closer to 15, no?
No, 12. 26 games, 27 for City, so they only have 11 games left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's coming down, man, coming down.
I was looking at the Spanish standings, and they have exactly 15 games left.
They have more, yeah.
So I was like,
Yep. We have a special Twat Happened moment this week, and it goes to Maurizio Sarri. For like any numerous transgression. Ditching Pep for the handshake at the end of the game. Sounding very senile and Mourinho-ish after the game. Trotting out the same 4-3-3.
I really don't get this whole handshake drama all the time. Like you get 6-0. You should be able to walk off wherever the fuck you want. Like you just had a bad day.
You should be allowed to be smacked around by the other coach. Like no handshake. Just let him backhand you.
I think at that point, Sarri would have loved if Pep tried to backhand him. He would have loved, that would have actually made a 6-0 worth it if he could get to pound somebody in front of a stadium full of people. I think that would have been the best outcome for him. He's like, yes, best shot right now. And then this 6-0 will be canceled out.
Word up, man. Coming up this week, there's not a lot as far as like big names are concerned outside of Chelsea hosting United in FA Cup next Monday.
Yeah,
doesn't get any easier for the Blues, man.
What do you mean?
Just looking at their schedule, man. They got a tough one coming up.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant like it doesn't get any easier than playing Manchester United.
No.
That's as easy. And I was like, what do you? I was like, Manchester United is a tough team.
No.
Yeah.
It's at Chelsea at home, I believe. Any special motivations here? You think United knock them out?
I don't care about the FA Cup, so they shouldn't either. I would like United to win it just because they've changed and their team is looking nice. They deserve something, but they're not going to get any of the major prizes. So if they could make a cup run and if nothing else, make Solskjaer's season like that, it would be fun-ish. But other than that, I could give less of a fuck what happens.
Bunch of lower mid-table games that I just mentioned. Betis hosting Alaves. Frankfurt playing Mönchengladbach. Inter playing Sampdoria. Saint Etienne playing PSG. Like I said, not much in the way of nameplay. But hey, man, we got Champions League this week, so we'll see you motherfuckers on Thursday, and that match is in the motherfucking books. Diving for Glory posts every Monday, every Thursday, on iTunes, on YouTube, on divingforglory.com. Don't forget at Diving for Glory on Facebook and Twitter. Hit us up on iTunes, 5 stars. Episode 25, Diving for Glory. Pep Corsiola, Sir Solomon. Peace. Yo.
Diving. What do you think it's called?
say. Diving in.
Glory.